Lauren here for New Life Fitness. That's New Life, L-Y-F-E, encouraging you guys to live your faith every day. Awesome. All right, so I'm here today to answer your questions, and the question was asked this time, John, which protein powder is the best? That's a good question. Personally, I like meat. I like food, solid food. But if you can't, have solid food, if you don't have time, because you're leaving the gym or you're going to work or whatever it is, you're on the road, I understand. So protein powder is a great supplement. But I guess, the best protein powder is really dependent on the person because it depends on if you have any dietary restrictions first. So if you have dietary restrictions, if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you wouldn't have beef protein or whey protein because both come from cows. So hemp seed protein and pea powder protein are good. From what I've heard, I've done a little bit of reading on them. I don't know too much about them because it doesn't really apply to me or any of my clients just yet. But when it does, I'll do more research on it. But I hear those are good. So pea powder protein if you're a vegan or vegetarian. Other alternatives, for non-vegetarians and vegans. Beef protein, I'm not really sold on that. I've read some good things, but it just the bang per buck doesn't make sense to me right now. It's super expensive. You might as well just buy a steak and put it in your pocket and eat that when you're hungry. So that leaves us whey protein for the most part, or egg white protein, which is also expensive. But whey protein, if you're trying to be cost effective, that's a great option. If you're not lactose intolerant, I guess I should say, whey protein. If you are, then go with the egg whites. But if you aren't, go with the whey protein. So whey protein. And then with whey protein, there's a few things to look at. First, when you get a whey protein, you want to make sure that it's all whey protein. And even in that whey protein, you want to make sure it's whey protein isolate, as opposed to hydrogenated whey. I don't want to go too much into that, but you just want whey protein isolate. I'm not going to it all, actually. So second part of that is you don't want to make sure there's no soy. Okay, that's another big filler they'll put in there is soy protein, just because soy is going to inhibit basically nutrient absorption in your gut. That's not a good thing. If you're eating clean, a lot of nutrients, you want to take those nutrients in. Third thing you want to watch for there is that it doesn't have calcium caseinate. Calcium caseinate basically will turn to sludge in your gut, and the protein companies will tell you that it's slow digesting. Well, it's non-digesting, actually, most of it, and then you'll just you'll get rid of it eventually. Actually, they used to throw that stuff out, but then the companies thought we're wasting money, so why don't we just market it differently? And they do, and people buy it, and they think it works, but that's okay. So instead, get a whey protein isolate, and it's going to be very fast absorbing. Second part of that, you want to make sure your protein has a high servings of protein, high percentage of protein per serving. Sorry, I said that incorrectly. So, give you an example. If you have a label or muscle milk or something like that, and it says, you have 20 grams of serving, 20 grams of protein per serving, but you look at the serving size and it's 40 grams. Everybody get that? So 20 grams per 40 grams of serving. Well, then half of your serving is just filler. So it can be sugars and chemicals and who knows what else. You really don't want that. So just make sure, just do a quick division there. So find your grams per serving, divide that by the total size of a serving, and that'll give you a percentage, or hopefully a high percentage. That being said, I like whey. I think, who is it? Now Sports Nutrition has one. I think it's like 91% or 90%. It's unflavored, so therefore I can add it to fruit smoothies. I can add it to chocolate shakes. Whatever I want to add it to. Pancakes, waffles. It doesn't really matter. But whatever you add it to is going to take on that flavor. It does have a little bit of a taste, but it's not overwhelming or really even that noticeable if you add a lot of fruit. They also have regular flavors like chocolate and vanilla, but then you're limited in what you can do. You really can't add chocolate to a mango smoothie. It doesn't taste very good. Well, maybe it does. If you like that, then you do it. I'm all for it. There's a thumbs up there. So all that to say is a couple things to check the protein. First, if you have any dietary restrictions, you should know those by now. Number two, just make sure it's whey protein isolate. And the last part is make sure that your protein has a high percentage of protein per serving. I'm really not a stickler with the brands. I'm not endorsed by Now Sports, or if there's a cheaper brand, that has a high percentage, then I'd buy that. But just be smart. A little bit of sugar is not bad. You definitely want to stop catabolism, basically your body eating itself after your workout, as soon as possible. So a little sugar is not bad. Maybe a piece of chocolate too. Who knows? But that's my answer. So Now Sports Nutrition, make sure it's high protein percentage, and it's whey protein isolate. That's the best protein you can get, barring the fact that you're not vegan and lactose intolerant. That's all for now. This is John Martin here at New Life Fitness. Encourage you guys to live your faith every day. Peace.